Hey everybody, I'm DM Andy, and today we're going to paint a Space Marine. I've been fiddling around with Warhammer 40k for about a year now, and the more times I paint these guys, the better I get at it. I don't consider myself a professional painter, nor do I have sponsors or any friends for that matter. But I do know a few things if you're getting started in the hobby and you'd like my help. First, nobody cares what kind of paint you use. Just buy what you like, do what makes you happy. See this little cap? I see all these people spilling their paint all the time. Stop dumping the paint out, you're just wasting it. Take the cap off, dab a little on the brush, and boom, we're painting minis. Let me start by saying I'm new to content creation, and that's why I forgot to start recording these videos at the first steps of what I was doing. I went and bought the models at my local game shop. I brought them home and I put them together. Then I took them outside and I base coated them with a flat black spray paint out of a rattle can. Once the spray paint was dry, I got my blue paint and I started painting the Space Marine's armor. Cheaper acrylic crafting paint can be a little chalky, maybe even a little thick. If you find you're having that problem, just shake the bottle up really good. Then when you take the cap off, add a little bit of water and mix it up with your paintbrush. Once you thin it like that, it should make it spread and cover a lot nicer. I'd like to take a minute to thank the guys over at No Filter Trucking. He's got a channel over there that's really cool if you're into that kind of thing. He actually set me up with this new camera equipment and many things over the years to help me get started so I would start this channel. Anyway, back to the model at hand. When you're painting these little guys, remember the first few steps, the models are going to be kind of ugly. Just keep applying a little more paint to the bigger areas. Try to stay out of your darker recesses where we spray painted. Helps have accents. Those deeper channels with that dark paint make the model pop a little better. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Later we'll just clean up some of those lines with a little touch-up. Just keep applying layers of your primary color. Space Marines come in all kinds of colors: yellow, blue, red, white. So this method works with all the other Space Marines. So just keep applying layers, bringing the layer of the plates up to a place where you like it. As soon as you're comfortable with how your Space Marine looks, throw him on the table and start playing with him. You can always go back and do more touch-ups later as you're looking at your models and you're finding you missed an elbow, you missed an ankle. One of my favorite things about the cheap acrylic paints is everything dries really flat, and it's not real shiny like everyone else's models. Plus, when you're using the cap for this method to not waste paint, you don't end up squirting paint out constantly onto little pieces of paper or card holders or even a palette for that matter. When you're not having to waste your paint, you're not replacing your paint, and then your paint pretty much lasts forever. I've had one of these cheap tubes last for 2,000 points worth of Space Marines at this point. And I'm really happy with the way they all turn out. They look different than everyone else's, and I don't waste paint. Like this card, for example, that I used to use. What a waste. Again, I'm going to use my cap as I switch to my silver paint. And I'm going to start working on some of his accent pieces. His gun, his helmet, his vents on his backpack. There's lots of hoses and raised up accent pieces on these models that just a little bit of paint can really make it pop. So what I like to do here is I rub some of the paint off to make more of a dry brush effect, and then I just start striking away at the weapon and the hoses, trying to pick up as many accent pieces as I can, but still give it a metal look, a used metal look, something that has been drug around and beat up a little bit. Okay, and again, I'm going to use my cap off my paint bottle as my paint pot so I don't waste any paint. I'm going to go after my smallest brush, and then I'm going to start painting on my gold shoulder accents. This line works kind of hard, so just be patient. Again, if you make a mess like I do, we'll just go back later after the paint dries and we'll touch up the blue to kind of clean up the line against the gold. Okay, once you've got that gold on, I want to show you guys a little trick for the eyes. I paint my Space Marine's eyes red like they are on the box, but toothpicks. I take my cap off, use it as my paint pot, and then dip the end of a sharp new toothpick down in that paint. As you can see, it works really, really well on the eyes. And if you do go too far, you can always wait for that paint to dry and then touch up your mistake with a little blue paint to clean up the helmet around the eyes. I'm going to get both these done real quick. I'm actually trying to knock out these eradicators for a game this weekend, but we'll see how that goes. Red eyes. Just take your time and keep painting. If you enjoy the hobby, it won't be the last miniature you paint, and wargaming's a lot of fun. You'll look back over the years and you'll see old pictures of crusty, thick painted miniatures you did in the beginning. And you'll repaint red Hulks that you bought off Cool Stuff Inc. just so you can have your own set of super soldiers for one-page rules. At this point, I find it's harder to explain to your wife why you spent so much money on toolish soldiers than it is to actually finish painting 2,000 points. Just stick with it. Before you know it, you'll be at the table shooting people's soldiers down. Back over here on my sergeant, I'm working to get him touched up and finished. He's got a few things I still need to do to him. I need to color in the eyes, and I need to touch up the shoulders and some of the gun plates where blue and silver got away from me. But going to use my cap again. This time I'm going with a baby blue for the eyes. Since the sergeant's helmet is red, it doesn't really do much good to have red eyes. So if you look at the box looks like they've been painted with a lighter blue shade. So I'll smear some paint in the eyes with toothpicks, clean it up with my finger, and then get a small brush, use red paint to touch up the helmet. I didn't finish the helmet to begin with because I wanted to save these last touches of paint to be the final coats instead of having the final helmet painted and then trying to touch up after I paint the eyes. Few more tiny spots. Make sure you get the edge of the cheeks over the top of the eye. It really, really helps those eyes look good. And from there, you're practically done. Just any little spot you notice that you want to work on, the bridge of the nose of the helmet, maybe your line work needed some help and you needed to go back over it again. Whatever it is, just hang in there, and before you know it, it'll be the grim, dark future where there is only war. These are my guys on the table. I set a few things up just to really, really make it look like it's supposed to look. And thank you guys for watching my video. Those of you who hung in this far, that's pretty awesome. This is my first video, and I intend to make a whole lot more. Again, thanks to No Filter Trucking. Monty, you are the best. And again, I am DM Andy. Please like and subscribe. And let's get some more content out there, see what we can do.